just want us to look at a pretty effective scrum play that Japan utilized against Canada this past tournament in the Vancouver Sevens. And we'll kind of play through this clip and just talk about it. Very, very effective chess game. I think Japan was playing chess and hoping for the long setup, and it will make sense once we go through the two clips that I have, and both of them are off scrums. So if you kind of look at how they're setting up right now, there is a pretty narrow, I wouldn't say narrow, I mean, a pretty narrow blind, and they have two receivers or two pivots behind the scrum, and the one winger being wide. Now, obviously, from an attacking standpoint, you're trying to manipulate the defense in the sense that, hopefully you can have this wing right here kind of match that winger in the width, and then you can utilize the space in the middle to attack through the gap. Obviously, Canada hasn't seen this format before or this formation before, so they're just in a traditional man up defense, making sure they're going to cover this space, assuming that you won't be too smart to hit the blind. But as we go through and play the clip, you'll kind of see how that actually comes into effect and how they manipulate the defense. So quick throw in or just a throw in by Japan, and they hit the blind. So effective little blind. Their speed of 3 was great. They're over the ball. They're ready to distribute. But if you have a look at the next frame, right, yeah, what David says in essence now just did is pretty much took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the Canadian players, drew them to one side of the field, and now there's a massive overlap on the edge, leaving this winger on an island. So there's a few options that the pivot can do. You can obviously just get it to the center. With the winger on the outside, you can just draw the wing and then get it out wide. So in this instance, let's see what happens and what the outcome was. So that was a good little move to just kind of suck in the defense. And if you think about it, one pass now from the base of the rock has eliminated about 5 players. So as we play this through, not really entirely sure why the center decided to run a crash ball. I think if they just both bounced, he probably could have just drew the winger and it would have been a try on the edge. Regardless, they cut back, and I would say if you think about it, the trap is now set. So this is now about, I would say, the second half, same game, obviously. So they go ahead and they set up exactly the same way that they set up in the first scrum. The only difference now is they've actually manipulated the Canadian defense, and instead of being traditional flat up and just thinking that they're going to cover this space right here, they've now realized with the previous scrum that they're going to probably hit blind, therefore they'll have an extra runner there just to cover that. Now in essence what happens is now it takes an extra defender out of the back line. Pretty smart little long play by Japan. So if we play this through, the back two pivots are creating some discomfort and confusion. The 9, actually, in my opinion, from a defensive standpoint, the 9 should have just busted out and they would have had a man-on-man defense. However, he gets sucked in by the Japanese 9. And now their pivot has 2 options. Well, 3 options. You can either attack one of these. In my opinion, I would say just go to the outside. Now you have your secondary pivot, if you want to call that, coming around the corner, and you have a 2v1. But in this instance, he realizes that there is a massive disconnect between the inside hunters right there. So the inside hunter was pretty slow to getting to the defensive line, and they break the line and end up scoring a well played try that you could say was set up by the formation of the previous scrum.